Picture this. You're at your job working hard. When everyone does a survey, who deserves a promotion the least? And they vote you. Could you imagine how that would feel? Now imagine how it would feel if you not only get that promotion, you get the promotion. I'm talking double the money, the promotion that everyone who also does your job goes to sleep at night and dreams of having. That is the story of Tyrese Haliburton. Let's get into it. Tyrese Haliburton might be one of the most overhated or overrated players in the entire NBA. And I'm going to tell you all the information you need to know as to why people hate Tyrese Haliburton. Welcome to Hoops for Hotties, where I break down the biggest basketball stories in a way that makes sense for the girls, the gays, the days, and the straight men who don't admit they don't know anything about basketball. Today's topic is Tyrese Haliburton. Some people love him, some people hate him, but either way, he's playing in the NBA Finals, and it's time to get to know him. So who is he really? And why is he one of the most talked about players in the whole league right now? First, let's talk about where he came from, Tyrese Haliburton's background and his rise to the NBA. Tyrese is from Oshkosh, Wisconsin, a place that I definitely could not pick out on a map if you offered me $1 million right now. He has spoken about it before and said that for big basketball opportunities, you kind of have to go to Milwaukee when you're from where he's from. But again, know nothing about that part of the country. But this is the small town where he grew up and he played high school basketball. He wasn't highly recruited, but he led his school to their first ever state championship in 2018. He went on to play at Iowa State, where he became known for his passing and high basketball IQ. He got injured his sophomore year, but still entered the 2020 NBA draft and was picked 12th overall by the Sacramento Kings. After showing some real potential in Sacramento, he was traded to the Indiana Pacers in a very surprising move. Now, this is very common of the Sacramento Kings, getting a player, seeing potential, fucking it up somehow. Since then, he has become the Pacers franchise player and a two-time NBA All-Star, and an Olympian and a gold medalist. Now, he did sit on the bench for the entire duration of the Olympic campaign, but he still won a gold medal, and he still obviously took in a lot of knowledge from being around all of those elite basketball minds. And he posted on Twitter after and put, "When you do nothing on the group chat and you still make an A," which, hey. Now, I want to start off positively because people come for me when I start off negatively. This is why people actually like him. These are the benefits of a Tyrese Haliburton, okay? What makes Tyrese Haliburton a fan favorite in Indiana and surrounding middle of nowhere areas is that I'm just joking. Oh my God, they're going to come for me so bad. He's an unselfish, high IQ player who makes the game easier for everyone around him. He leads the Pacers offense with elite playmaking and court vision, which means he's really good at sharing the ball and getting his teammates involved. He's helped make Indiana Pacers basketball relevant again and push them very deep into the playoffs, even though no one has seen them coming. And off the court, fans really appreciate his sense of humor, his personality, and his confidence. And he's built a strong relationship with the community in Indiana and with his fan base. An example of why people really like Tyrese Haliburton is there was this Pacers fan, and his name is Hans Perez. He is a New York firefighter, and he was heckled outside of Madison Square Garden for wearing a Tyrese Haliburton jersey. They were throwing trash at this man. The most insane and disgusting, deplorable thing I've ever seen, but very New York. Very New York. The video went viral, obviously, and Tyrese Haliburton responded by inviting him to Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Finals in Indianapolis. Those tickets are worth a grip, y'all. Perez got the full VIP treatment and met the entire team, and the gesture meant a lot to fans and made Haliburton even more beloved and liked. Could you imagine just attending a basketball game and having people throw actual trash at you? People aren't scared enough these days. In Atlanta, you will get beat up over that or worse. Hell no. Bring back shame. Bring back shame, okay? Nowadays, people, when things like that happen to them, they go and they make a video, a TikTok later. Storytime, I got trash thrown at me outside of Madison Square Garden. Back in the olden days, you would have just got straight up whooped. Now, the part you all came for, why people don't like him, okay? Here is where his criticism comes from. So, a player poll done by The Athletic, a very messy player poll. One of the questions is, who is the most overrated player in the NBA? The messy part is, these questions are being asked to NBA players, his peers, his coworkers, if you will. And they've been voting Rudy Gobert for like the last few years. I mean, every single year, I think Rudy Gobert is the shoe-in to win most overrated in the NBA. NBA players just hate that guy. But this year, they voted Tyrese Haliburton. This could be for a variety of reasons. Maybe because people are mad they didn't make the Olympic roster. Maybe because people think that he's cringy and corny. I don't know. But 14.4% of the vote of his NBA peers voted him to be the most overrated player in the league. Now, here are the arguments as to why he's overrated. Some say that his stats are inflated. He's a stat patter, okay? This means that he racks up assists and he plays really fast, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he dominates the game, okay? Even though on the stat sheet, it might look like, oh my God, Tyrese Haliburton had an incredible game. He was playing in a certain way on purpose to make it look good on the stat sheet. Now, me personally, when it comes to stat padding, because people talk about a lot of people stat padding. People like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander racking up fouls to get more points. People like Angel Reese racking up rebounds. People like Russell Westbrook trying to get a triple-double before trying to win a game. Those kind of things. And my thing is, if it were that easy to stat pad in a professional basketball league, which, like, cool, if they're doing it, everybody would do it. You know what I'm saying? More people would do it. Is it probably the best thing ever? No, I don't know. I'm not a professional basketball player, but at the end of the day, they're getting those stats. What would you put up in an NBA game? Like, let's be fucking for real, guys. Like, I don't know. I just don't think stat patter is that insulting to me. If anything, that means to me, like, you have that much control over that aspect of your game. When it comes to racking up assists, stat padding assists, like, in order to stat pad and assist, you would have to ensure that your teammates are making those shots. Doesn't that just mean that Tyrese Haliburton has an incredible team built around him? I don't know. I just think that stat padding is like, that's such hater shit to say about somebody. Now, his defense is a weak spot in his game, a weaker spot, and he's been targeted on that end of the court, as has a million stars. Luka Doncic, Steph Curry, like, it happens. He's had some stretches of inconsistent play, especially following injuries or when dealing with certain struggles. And some critics find his on-the-court demeanor and celebrations a little bit over the top. Maybe people say it's flamboyant or cringy, or he's aura farming, as he called it. Now, there's this clip of him after he hit what he thought was a game-winning shot against the Knicks in Madison Square Garden. It turned out it was just a 2, not a 3, so they still had to go to overtime. But he copied Reggie Miller's iconic choke celebration that he did when he was playing for the Pacers in Madison Square Garden. And I will say, like, he yelled when he did it, like he was, and it didn't give off the same aura as Reggie's at all, but it was still such a huge moment, like anybody would do that, right? But at the end, in his post-game presser, he said, I wouldn't do that again because people are going to say I'm aura farming. And I'm like, baby, aura farming, that's not a thing. It's clip farming, not aura farming. Like, you just invented a new way to be cringy. Aura farming? Maybe that's like a perfect name for what Jason Tatum was doing after he won the finals, like aura farming. There have been a bunch of funny moments, like when he was celebrating beating the Knicks, and he tried to play off of Shannon Sharp's like OKC, UFC, KFC, Lakers in 5. And he like did this one about Stephen A, Chalamet, I don't care what you say, Pacers in 6. Like,
you know what it is. Stephen A, Chalamet, have it your way. Pacers in 6.
Dog. And the whole demeanor of the way he did it he practiced it in the mirror before. Now, it's hard to make fun of an NBA player for aura farming, if you will, because like, if I were in the NBA, I would probably be doing the same shit. Okay, I would probably be doing the same shit. I mean, those are bigger moments than some of us will ever have in our lives. Like, you would want a viral moment. Back then, the reason why Kobe and Jordan, it feels like they had so much aura, is because they weren't getting filmed for social media all the time. They were just doing shit, and it was cool, and now we look back at it, and we're like, aura, that's how you do it. But now with social media and stuff, there is a benefit to being that guy who had a viral moment. And so people want that. Like, I don't think it's that shameful or they should be that embarrassed. But some people can do it naturally and they're just naturally funny, like Anthony Edwards, where people eat it up. And then some people like Tyrese Haliburton or Jason Tatum, they kind of force it a little bit. And that's where it gets a little cringy. But I don't know, I'd probably do the same thing. He also is one of the best passers in the league. He runs Indiana's offense at an elite level. His presence has completely changed the Pacers' identity, and they've won games they weren't supposed to because of him and his clutch shooting. And he continues to prove people wrong time after time after time, making improbable shots at crazy times throughout these NBA playoffs. Here's the thing. Is he overrated or misunderstood? Yeah, Tyrese doesn't fit the mold of a typical superstar. He's not a huge scorer all the time, and he doesn't dunk all over people, and his jumper looks awkward. That's something people come for. His shot isn't the most athletically pleasing, okay? But do you really love basketball if you don't love a kind of ugly, busted jump shot that goes in with 0 seconds left to win a game in the NBA playoffs? I mean, that is cinema. And whether his jump shot or his shot is beautiful or not, it gets the job done. His teammates love him, and he's winning. Now, it's possible that he's both underrated and maybe a little overhyped at the same time. It depends on what you value. But me personally, I think a guy who's in the NBA finals deserves our respect. And maybe we shouldn't be on TV every day arguing over whether he's a superstar or not. Like, there are very few superstars left in the league. I would say the only superstars, there's a difference between an athlete and a celebrity, right? The only celebrities left in the league, in my opinion, are LeBron James and Steph Curry. And I wouldn't even consider Kevin Durant a celebrity either, because he's really like a hooper. The question is, would Tyrese Haliburton get this much love or this much hate if he were playing for the Knicks or the Lakers? How people receive him if he were the star of the Knicks or the Lakers? People would be eating it up. It's just because he's in Indiana and people are like, oh, he wants to be that guy so bad. And because, we see him getting out of cars with white women and people are like, if it ain't snowing, Tyrese ain't going. He just comes off a little cringy. Okay, the kid's from Oshkosh. Cut him some slack. And I also am curious, like, is the NBA ready to embrace a new kind of star? Or are we focused more on what's flashy than what's producing and what's winning? I think that we're in an era, and I've said it a million times, where it's more important to have a good team than to have just one superstar, Like the whole teaming up with a bunch of other superstars thing to go win a championship doesn't seem to be working. It seems to be teams making these moves with these players that we may not even really understand who they are yet, being the biggest thing in the NBA right now. It's just not the same. We shouldn't be so quick to call someone overrated just because they don't fit the traditional mold. Tyrese Haliburton is a big part of the NBA's future, no matter what people say. Whether you're team overrated or team underrated, he has earned a spot in our NBA conversations, and that makes him a star in my book. I don't know about superstar, but a star. Thanks for tuning in to Hoops for Hotties. We'll be back next week with another basketball video. Thanks for watching.